Hey, it's Cami. I'm so excited to be sharing a paint party picture with you. Boy, that was a lot of P's in one sentence. Anyways, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to do a beachy scene. We're just going to get a beautiful blended sky, some waves crashing on the beach, and a little bit of sand. And then from there, that could be personalized and taken a few different directions. So let's get started. So when you're working on a dry canvas, you always want to get it a little bit wet. I always like to spritz it with a little bit of water or a product called Flow Aid. So let me grab it. This isn't Flow Aid, this is just a little spritzer bottle with water. Then I'm going to take a nice flat brush. Doesn't really matter what size it is, but of course a bigger brush does a faster job. So that was pretty easy. So I'm going to start out with white. Another polar bear in a snowstorm. Pretty exciting. As I'm painting, I'm kind of planning and thinking out where the horizon is going to be. And I never, very, very rarely do I put the horizon exactly in the middle of the painting. So middle is about here. I'm going down about an inch from center. It's hard to tell, white on white, but it'll change in a moment. All right. I want to save a little bit of white area for the sun, but I'm going to delineate the glow around the sun with a little bit of yellow. This is so I'm kind of blocking off the color. And then there's a little bit of the yellow glow around the sun. Cool. We can go back and edit that later. That's just kind of like a placeholder showing us, okay, the sun's gonna be right there. So we just painted white. So whatever colors I add to this will blend with the white. But I'm going to make this looks like red, but it's actually a magenta color. So I'm gonna take some magenta and quite a bit of yellow. Woo, that's a fun color, I like that. Headed for a magenta or a tequila sunrise, maybe? That's cool. Now I have this lovely peachy color and I'm gonna start at my horizon line. Woo! And just work it up into the sky. You can see I mixed it with my brush and I didn't get it completely mixed. So now it's a choice thing as to how blended I want it to be. And I just dipped in and got a little bit more paint. Now as I go towards the top, I'm going to mix a little bit more white with the color. I just don't want it to be as bright on the top. I mean, I want it to be lighter, brighter, not as vivid in hue or color. Cool. Now I've got some stripes. I'm fine with the stripes, but if there's a really strong stripe that I don't want, I can come at it with an angle and then whisper across. And it kind of kills the stripy action. You can even come at it from both directions and blend it that way too. Then whisper across and it blends beautifully. Now would be the time. I am not going to take the time at this point to go around the edges with the color because you've got it mixed and ready to go, but you can go around the sides and the edges if you want to. Do want to paint all the canvas though. Here we go. Cool. So that's kind of fun. Now this is still wet and I want to blend that sky a little bit more. So I'm going to choose a filbert brush. It's a flat brush with rounded edges because I want to blend the area and not have harsh corners like a square brush would do. Square flat square, I don't know what it is. It's a 1-inch flat. I'm just going to wake up my brush with a little bit of water, but I don't want it dip, drippy, damp, or wet, or drippy. I dipped in a little bit of white. And I'm circling now that I've circled out to the peach color, you know that my brush has peach on it. I'm not going to go back into that white or I'll dirty up the white. If I need to go back into the white, I'd have to wash my brush, pat it dry, reload with whatever white or yellow color that I want. But I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to leave it. All right, now I'm going to wash the brushes I just used. I mix a little bit of brush soap in a soapy jar. Vigorously paint the bottom of the jar. That's how you get the paint out of it. Rinse it in plain water, pat it dry, and put your brush to the side. Same thing here. If you don't wash your brushes right away, the acrylic paint will dry and be a little nastified. It will ruin your brushes. So while I have this color going on, we're going to modify it slightly for the sand. So I have the yellow and the white and the magenta that's created a little bit of this beachy color, or this color. I'm going to add a little bit of raw umber in it, and it's going to make it more of a sandy color. I still like the warmth of the peachy colors, but this just makes it a little bit more sandy. So I'm going to start by delineating the darker areas of the sand where I think I might have some shadows. I'm just gonna, oh yeah. As you can tell, I'm going to leave this blank because that's where my water is going to go. But this is sand. And then the end result of this is I'm going to put a car on this picture somehow, but I'm thinking I'm going to leave some of this dark as if it's the shadow under the car. So that's why I did that. So now I can just start lightening up that color with some white and fill in the other parts. I didn't even wash my brush because I like the variation of colors. So pretty easy. I'm not pressing as hard as I go over the dark spots because they're still wet, but that means they will blend a little bit around the edges. So look, I can just blend it, or I can lighten it if it's too dark. Cool. Again, take this color around the edges as you want to, if you want to. Not necessary if you're going to frame it. That's kind of fun. And I'm gonna wash my brush again. Makes me smile because Bob Ross used to talk about rinsing his brush in paint thinner because he was using oils. And then he would bang it on the side of his easel and beat the hell out of it. And it made him laugh every time he said it. It was pretty funny. So it makes me smile now as I'm painting. So just thought I'd share the love. All right, this is ultramarine blue. It's pretty vivid. I'm gonna purple it up a little. Just that'll be a fun start. That's a base. Then we're gonna lighten it. We're gonna get different colors in there. So, woo, purple. That's really purple. Maybe not quite so purple. All right. That's the beauty of paints, right? It's always darker at the horizon, I think. The colors work really well in the scene because they're complementary. You've got the yellow and purple are complementary to each other, and orange and blue are complementary to each other. That means they're opposite on the color wheel, and anytime you have complementary colors, it encapsulates the three primary colors, and that makes it kind of tricks your mind into thinking it's more colorful than it really is, or has more color than it really is. So it makes it pop, I guess, is a good way to describe it. All right, I'm gonna mellow this blue out a little bit, and we're gonna try some more variations. I just lightened it up a little bit, just straight up blue now. Now I'm gonna go in and not cover up all the purple, because why? I could if I didn't like it, but I think it's cool. You can make this more teal if you want to, but again, I just explained I like the complementary color action. And I'm gonna leave it a little bit white in between. I don't need to make that all bluish. And wrap your color around if that's what you're gonna do. As we go, it's a lot easier. That's pretty cool. I'll dig it. Something I try to teach people when I do my paint parties is to be kind to themselves. And yeah, when you get started painting and you're already thinking, oh, this is going to be terrible, I'm not an artist, then it's hard to recover from that. You end up to have not as good of a time when you're painting, and you also are not kind to yourself, so it doesn't work out to your benefit. But if you come at it like, this may not be my favorite painting in the world, but at least I'll learn something and I'll have a great time, and it relaxes your mind, it relaxes how you hold your paintbrush, and you end up liking the results better too. So I'm going to try this, and I'm not sure if it's going to work, but I'm going to take a little bit of the umber. Oh yeah, that's perfect. And dull the blue a little bit. That's perfect. All right, here we go. It looks black, but it's not harsh like black. That's kind of fun. Digging it. You guys see how I'm holding the brush sideways, just sweeping across. Again, another great application for a filbert brush here because of the rounded edges, but I'm just being careful with my square. Ooh. Ooh. Cool, that was fun. All right, now I'm gonna wash my brush. So I have this sand color, right? And I'm gonna do a light sand color, because right as the water's reaching the edge of the sand, it kind of turns up the sand a little bit. And I'm just kind of, you see I'm using my buddy Phil, but I'm just kind of tumbling it around in there a little bit. Right along where the water meets the sand. Now the brush picked up some of the sand color and some of the watercolor. I think that's kind of cool. Looking good. Kind of a rolling motion, right? Now I'm going to dip into pure white. They're going to get smaller as we go back. So I haven't even washed my brush. It's a mixture of the white with the blue now. And I'm just trying to create some hints of waves as they go back. But you know what? Less is probably more, so I'm gonna leave it. Now we get to play a little bit. This is gonna be the fun part. I'm gonna wash my buddy Phil. If I had a small fan brush, I'm looking around my studio for a small fan brush. I see. All right, small fan brush. A little bit of water. Fan brush. Very gently. I've seen artists like dance the fan brush around at the edge of the water, and it really makes it look like it's kind of churny and bubbly, and it's just kind of fun. And you know what? Perfection. There's no such thing as perfection. Perfection is what you're painting right now, right? People are so mean to themselves sometimes. Ooh, got blue on it. Better wash it, or I'm gonna turn it into mud. Cool. I think that's pretty fun. So how long did that take us? Not very long. And we've got a great base for whatever we're going to do in the front. So again, you can adjust the colors how you want to. This is perfect for where I'm headed with a bright red convertible Mustang or something. I'm not sure yet. But what a fun place to start. I hope you try this and let me know what you think. Let me know how I can improve and what you need to learn, and I'll make a video about it. Thanks, guys. See ya.